The UFC been turned all year long, I ain't gonna lie. And Dana White decided to carry that same energy right into 2024. The other day, Dana announced the main events for UFC 297, 298, and 299. And I ain't gonna lie, I am ecstatic. To start it off, Dana did what was right for the middleweight division, giving the streets a Sean Strickland and Dricus Duplessis middleweight title fight. It still don't sound right, I ain't gonna lie. This is a fight between two remeads. All that said though, I genuinely do think that this is the most interesting fight at 185 right now, and I'm super excited to see how it play out. Cause I can see Dricus doing to Sean what he done did to basically everybody else. Just going in there, being a powerhouse and beating him up. But at the same time, I can see Sean weathering those storms, dragging Dricus into some deeper water, and just completely burying him in the later rounds of the fight. I do think Sean is technically the better fighter, but sometimes there do come them fighters that really just don't care about none of that. When you think about how big and strong Dricus is for the division, alongside his clear high IQ and film study, paired with the grappling skills that he has shown to have, he is a tough out for anybody in the division. But hey, the streets say Sean Strickland is a really good grappler on the low, he just ain't showed it yet. I ain't gonna call cap necessarily, but we gonna definitely find out in this matchup between these two. So, I'm excited. Moving on to UFC 298, something I'm definitely a little less excited for. Alexander Volkanovski gonna go back down to featherweight to defend his belt against Ilia Topuria. And as I've said on multiple occasions, I do think Ilia Topuria does pose a very interesting threat to Volk. But with that said, if the true version of Alexander Volkanovski is the one that steps into the octagon in February, I do think he's a couple levels above Ilia still. Now, even with all of that, Ilia is so dangerous because he's great technically, but he has the power to put anybody down. And when we talking about Volk, for as great as he is there to be hit. So regardless if his chin has held up after this last knockout and returning only, 4 months after that, if Ilia cracks him a few good times, he could easily go down. I'm personally worried that his chin might not be the same after what Islam did to him, but hey, it is what it is. He wanted to stay busy. I respect it, my dog. And lastly, the inevitable has happened at bantamweight. Sean O'Malley and Chito are supposed to headline UFC 299. And I ain't gonna lie, as I mentioned in the past, I seen this coming. But surprising to me at least, there was a lot of people who didn't expect this to happen. And to be fair, it 100% should not have. Beating Pedro Munoz should not grant you a title shot under any circumstances in life. But outside of just that, Aljamain Sterling was 100% deserving of an immediate rematch. Obviously though, Dana ain't been a fan of him for quite a while, so I wasn't too surprised to see him get skipped over. So the next logical option should have been Merab, but he and Aljamain are low-key kinda idiots, I ain't gonna lie. They tried to play this game with Dana like Dana even liked them in the first place, so both of them just got skipped over. But what makes it so crazy is that Chito really wasn't even the most logical option after them two. He just got 50-45 by Corey Sandhagen not that long ago at all. But unfortunately, at the moment, Corey Sandhagen is really boring. Just gave the streets a little bit of a snoozer against Rob Font, and that's easily enough reason for him to get skipped over as well. Again, looking at the list of contenders, this fight makes no sense. But Sean O'Malley is a new, fresh champion, exciting to watch, the people love him. And this is the fight that he wanted. You got a little bit of a storyline there with Chito giving Sean his only loss thus far. And stylistically, he can, at least, depending on how he act. Bring an interesting challenge to Sean. Now, in their first fight, before the leg kick, I did think Sean was doing what he needed to do. And I could easily see him doing it again. But Chito does have every skill in the toolbox to make this an interesting fight. Honestly, he could just beat Sean outright, but I ain't gonna lie, I don't really think that's gonna happen. Regardless though, what a marvelous lineup the streets have been given to start off 2024. And while we're blessed with all of these excellent fights from now until March, all we do now is just wait for the UFC 300 news.